Since my teens, I've always been curious to find out what it means to be a man in a dysfunctional society. This is a story about a man who uses dance to heal his community regarding misconceptions around manhood.
I do believe that men, in these days, men are not appreciated enough, and then men are not given a platform to become who they are, and then men are not allowed to cry.
My name is Nanziwe Mzuzu, a writer based in Cape Town, and I'm going on an unknown journey with Fana Tshabalala, a dancer from Gauteng. Fana has just returned from a very successful 3-month tour in Europe where he performed his dance piece titled Man. What inspired you to choreograph the dance piece Man?
I think most of all it's my experience, and for me it's actually the men around me, what they've been going through, and the stereotype about the ideal kind of a man in a modern society.
For me, this part is all about representing what's happening now. Because I was very interested in how our leaders give speech and the gestures that they do. So I took those gestures, like simple thing before the speech, greeting people, and then hi, and then all this smile. Then I put it in my movement and see how can it be interpreted. When it gets faster and faster, it becomes more about confusion, because sometimes you start things very easily, and then once they start building up, it becomes more confusion. For example, sometimes you want to be a leader, not knowing what you're going to face later. At the beginning, it's very easy, but later on it becomes difficult, because this is what is happening right now. It's not easy for everyone.
Fana, I have to ask you this question. Are you gay?
No. Do I look gay? You know, yes, that's being a stereotype, because most of the people think that when you're a male dancer, you are gay, and it's not like that. Of course, in my field of work, there's a lot of gays, and I love them. They are my friends. We're very close to each other. Yeah, for me, I don't judge anyone, and I don't care. Gay, straight. You know what, most of the time, I don't even think about it.
But a lot of African men look down on gay men.
Maybe in rural areas where people are not exposed, where people they don't know anything about the genders, things that related to gender, they tend to judge. But here in the cities, it's different. People, they accept. And I think, you know what, things are changing, are slowly changing. Even in Val, where I came from, 10 years back, it was different because they used to call them CC boys. But now they are accepted, they are very open. And then for me, this is what makes the great world, not to judge people of who they are.
Why did you choose to dance?
I always say, I think it's a calling. Because when I started, I used to do Zulu traditional dance. I used to watch my father doing Zulu Iskatamiya. Then I fell in love with dancing. Then I went to school, studied it, and then I loved it after that.
Oh, so you were more involved with traditional dance than contemporary dance?
Back then, I didn't know what Afrofusion is or contemporary. So when I went to moving into dance, that's where I learned Afrofusion and contemporary dance. Even though it was difficult for me to learn contemporary dance because of my body structure, I had a very stiff body structure, which made it more difficult for me because I had to work extra hours so that I'm able to look the same with other students.
What were some of the challenges that you encountered in Sebokeng in terms of dance space and rehearsal venues?
In Sebokeng, we had a problem with proper dance studios. What we used to do is we used to dance in schools hall. We used to hire them, but we had a problem because we always fight with the school governing body because they said we make too much noise. So we had to change schools now and then. And we used to have a lot of challenges because we didn't have a lot of gigs, something that will generate incomes. But what we used to do is we used to perform for weddings, to have some little bit of cash for the sustainability of the community group.
When you started off dancing, how did your peers treat you when you were younger?
For my close friends, I think for them it was easier because I was involved in community groups and I used to invite them for my performances in community halls. I think my friends understood that what I was doing and they were very supportive, and they also they understand that you can make a living out of the arts. But I don't know for others whether they understood what I was doing. Because when I started doing it professionally, I moved out from the Val, I came to Johannesburg. I was very close to people who know arts, so it was easier for me.
How did you become part of the Forgotten Angle Theatre?
I joined Forgotten Angle Theatre Collaborative 2 years back when I left moving into dance. And then I used to love that company. I used to watch it performing, then I fell in love with it. I talked to the director, PJ Sabaha, and asked, what can I do to become part of the company? Then he said, come and auditions, and I auditioned and I was accepted into the company. And presently I'm his assistant, associate artistic director, and the choreographer and the teacher as well. And I love this company because it's a collaborative company. We work with different people, internationally and locally. So we make sure that we take people with different styles of dance, we bring them in one space so that there's always something new with the company. It's not the usual company where you see same thing over and over. But with every performance, there's a different ideas, there's different people, and there's different way of moving. This section, it was inspired by, we call them Ushembe. It's one of the churches, Zulu churches, Ushembe. But what I did, I took the same movement and then transformed them. It's more of being swallowed by the surrounding. Because sometimes you're facing things, you try to reach for something and then something pulls you back. Not always try to reach out, but you can't. So every time it's about this weight, and that's always pushing you down. Even if you're trying to go up, and then you're drowning again. Most of the people I think here in South Africa, they will relate to this music. Already they'll have an idea. And then with the lighting as well, you change the whole situation. Everything becomes more dim, something that's swallowing inside you. Now people, they start to understand. And what we're trying to do, again, for me, in terms of my work, I tried to make it more open so that it's not about my story only, but it's everyone's story. Everyone can relate. And it's also open to different interpretations because of course we are all different from different backgrounds. Yes. For example, when I was doing this section in France, people, they don't know the music, people, they don't know the story of the Shembe. So for them it was something else. And because of the lights, they interpreted something else. Yes, so it's always open. But I know in South Africa it will be different because people already will pick it up. Okay, I know this music. It's from the Shembe. And the question is, why is he using this music to do this? So there's a lot of questions. It becomes open to interpretation. Yes.
In 2013, Fana received the Standard Bank Young Artist Award for dance.
When I started, I didn't think one day I will receive that award. And then they called me like in 2013 early. And then you have to keep the secret for about 9 months, not to tell anyone.
Aibo,
Yes.
not even your family.
No, you're not allowed to tell anyone. Even your wife, you're not allowed. Yeah, you're not allowed. So I had kept that secret for 9 months until it announced. You know, it was difficult. And for me, when I got that award, I was very excited, but at the same time nervous, because there's an expectation. You have to produce a work, and that work is going to be featured in the Grahamstown Arts Festival. And you know what, there's pressure. People, they want to see, why did you win that award? What makes you special? So it was a lot of pressure for me.
We visited the Tshabalala family home in Sebokeng, which Fana shares with his wife Faith, their 2 daughters, his father Jacob, and sister Nonhlanhla.
It was nice. It was nice, but not naughty. And
Very quiet.
no way.
Seriously?
He was always talking. We
Seriously?
always listen to him in this house. Always.
Seriously, was I
Yeah.
talking too much?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Everyone knows that I'm shy, eh?
No.
You know what, I mean, I was spoiled. I never used to do this.
The
But
first
you know
time
what?
I saw. It's the first time now.
So I only got a chance to do these things when I'm alone, somewhere in the world. Because I don't have a choice, there's no one to spoil me there.
And he used to dance here in the house, you know. Yes, he used to dance here. But I never thought he was going to do that.
So,
I was just thought it was fun. Yeah. No, I'm good. Seriously, I'm good and I'm happy. I'm happy for that.
Fana has already made his mark in Europe, having been invited a number of times to perform and give workshops. Fana, when are you leaving again?
I'm leaving in April to come back in May. I have an African tour, going to 12 countries in Africa for 14 performances. So I'll be performing my duet, which is called Between Us. I'm also leaving in September, October to go to Berlin to work with Constanza Makras. She's a German choreographer. In fact, I'm starting to work with her on the 5th of January on this new project.
Although these are exciting times for Fana, he finds it difficult being away from home. It's often a lonely life.
Yes, it's a long period and we miss him, but we know that he's going to come back. He's coming back, so yes.
You know what, I must say it's not easy because I really miss them. And Skype makes it worse because I can see them, but I'm not able to touch them. My wife went to Durban to his cousin's wedding. In fact, she was meant to come back today, but I don't know what happened with the buses. So she might come back this afternoon or tomorrow morning. We have 2 daughters, Zintle and Zawadi. And Zintle left with my wife. I'm sure she would have been very excited to be here. Because she talks too much like Ntlantla. This piece, it's titled Conversation Between He and He. Is the conversation between me and my father. Actually, for me, it's more of talking about things that happen in life. He shares a lot with me, so for me it was important to explore this piece because it took me
to his world when he grew up. Through his explanation, I was able to understand what he went through as a child. When he was pushing me down, it was more like he was giving me direction. He was showing me where to go, because sometimes we tend to forget who we are. We tend to follow our peers and forget our principles at home. So he was showing me where to go. This is the real tension between the father and the son. Sometimes we disagree with each other because of the lesson can be very, very hard. So every time there was a lot of tension, him pushing me down, showing me direction, even though I wanted to come out, but I couldn't come out because I was not ready enough to go out. So that's why it's really intimate between the two of us. And this piece I choreographed it as a gift to show him my level of appreciation for what he has done for me.
Ya kusho ukuthi ke banomzane ngizizwa nginomdlandla kakhulu ngale ndoda ngithi phezulu kwemisebenzi ayenzile ngokungilalela kwakhe nokuthobela umthetho wami nomthetho wabadala. Ngingacabanga ngoba thina sabafana bengoma busuku like black mambas, you know, like so ngathi uclosed manje kusho ngamagama uyeza uthathani lobu buntu bami ngangiyibo kuhle kakhulu ngajabula kuloko.
What were some of your fears and challenges when you were a boy?
My fears, honestly, it was to grow up. Because sometimes I could see growing up, you had a lot of responsibilities. I think I was very happy when I was young because I didn't have any responsibilities. All the responsibilities went to my parents. Again, for me, it's getting good grades at school because of financially, I think we didn't have enough for me to go to university. So it was important for me to get good grades so that I can get bursaries.
For me, it was very important to do this stick fighting because I believe this is what they used to do in order to see who's the real man between guys. So guys were allowed to fight with sticks, and the one who's been beaten is regarded as he's like not man enough. So this is also referred to what is happening now, because as men, you always have to prove yourself that you are strong enough. And what I've realized is people, they relate to this section more than other sections because it's very clear. And even those people who don't understand dance, they relate to this section, locally and internationally. With a man, you get shaped by what you see around you. For example, without finances, there's nothing you can do as a man. Because the world around you tells you that as a man, you need to have cash. If you don't have cash, you're finished. And so you're taking all this influence from different backgrounds.
I feel it's very important to work with youth because in Xhosa they say, so for me, it's important to transfer whatever you want to transfer to youth. In that way, you guarantee that whatever you're transferring, it has a long lifespan and it's able to touch a lot of people.
We take some simple gestures and see how can, for example, if you touch, then you just holding, and then you just giving a hug. Then it's a simple thing, just a daily movement, and then we start doing this. It's a daily movement. Now it becomes like a movement. Now it started simple, but now it's more.
Every time when I work,
I try to connect with myself first. And I try to be honest all the time. The only way that I can be honest is to go deeper into myself. Try to find the feeling inside. Try to find the honesty. Because I do believe as a person, your honesty is inside. Sometimes the outside can be artificial. So every time when I try to find the pulse inside, I try to listen to my breath so that everything I do, I become honest. So that people can be with me in the journey. Because that's what I believe in.
Fana has taken me through what it means for him to be a man. I've come to understand that being a man means striving for freedom of the soul and to be at ease with oneself when one is fully expressed.
It's all about tweaking with yourself from the inside. A lot of men, they go through difficult stuff in order to make their families happy or in order to bring money at home. In this society, men are not favored. Men are not allowed to cry. Men are not allowed to be fragile. So this thing kills the man. The platform that I want is to be totally open, to be who I am, to cry, not to be judged. I need to scream. I need to shout. I need to be heard. I need to be given a chance to express who I am.